My name is Peter, and I'm with the North Creation Agency. And we have had a client that had a use case that they wanted to build services for parents in the different stages of parenthood. And they wanted to show them ads. So we wanted to build a content service to deliver these ads, and we choose Silverstripe to do so. We are using it basically like a headless CMS to serve the ads to the different clients. But we don't have any representation of the pages on the web. So that's why you could say that we're using it as a headless CMS. So the architecture is consisting of multiple clients or apps, one of the apps is Preggers, it's called. It's a mobile application built with React Native. It's a pregnancy tracker, when you're expecting a child, you can follow along with your pregnancy. And then once the child is born, you can move along to the next app, which is called Stroller, which is also mobile application built with React Native. And it's a kind of social platform for parents. And in Sweden, we are very generous with paid parental leave. So the parents can be home with the kids for about 1.5 years together. And then they have a lot of free time and can be looking to meet other people that are also parents home with their kids to meetups and things to do. So the Stroller app is, you can think of it like Tinder for parents, if you like. And then we have another client that is consuming the content service, which is an email service that makes dynamic and personal emails to the users of these apps. And we can also accommodate a new future client since the content service uses a REST API and the clients themselves are responsible for rendering the ads. The app's backend is not Silverstripe, and the reason for that is there's a lot of real-time data going on, especially in the Stroller app, since they can make posts to their feeds, there are discussion groups, and they can chat and have conversations. So we chose to use Firebase, which has a real-time database that fits that kind of use case perfectly. So the content service is running Silverstripe 4.2. It has the CMS part of it. We use the page as ads. Even if we don't really render them as pages, but then we can use the Fluent module to handle the internationalization. We also have a tag field to better handle many relationships. So you can, for instance, have target filtering on multiple interests with the tag field. And we use display logic to handle some logic of displaying the different filtering options. We also have a dependency to Firebase PHP because some of the target filtering requires information from the apps. For instance, if they are a member of a certain group or they have certain interests, and that kind of information is stored in the backend in Firebase database. And this content service is currently handling about 200,000 requests per day, and it's still growing. It launched earlier this year, and it seems to handle it pretty well. So let me show you how it looks. little bit larger than I expected, but I guess you can see it okay. So this is the content service, and here you can add your ads with titles and images and so forth. And then you can set the targeting, which users is going to see this ad. And here we have a summary of the filtering that is currently selected, and this is changed in live. So right now it says to see this content you need to be a male user. And if I change that to female users, that will be directly shown here, so that the editor can see what the target filtering is set to before he saves it, and understand the different filter options. And apart from gender, you can target on number of childs, how old the childs are, how old you are, and you can also target on location, since we have the location information from the app, so you can set that this ad only should be shown for people in the Enschede city. And we also, even if we don't render the ads on pages, we use the page for giving a rough preview of how the ad will look. So that, no, apparently I can't show it with this resolution. So I have to do it like this. So you can, the editor can get a feel for how it will look in the app. This is, since the clients are responsible for rendering the ads, this is not what you see is what you get really, but more of an indication, at least currently. And this uses since the apps are built with React Native, this is, we took the React code from the React Native and entered it in a React template here, and just had to modify the CSS somewhat, since React Native don't use web CSS format. But it was pretty straightforward to get the same result. Let's see if we can. So here's the stroller app, the social platform for parents app, where they can have chats and they can discuss in groups. You can find other strollers, and then they have this news feed where they can see their friends' posts, and they can also see the ad here. So just to show that it's connected to this Silverstripe admin here, we can change the targeting to so it doesn't fit my current user that I'm logged in with, which is a I'm a male user in the demo app here, so if I change it to female, for instance, and then reload the feed, the ad is gone. So the basic flow of how the fetching is done, it's pretty straightforward. The client makes a request and it sends the Let's see if you can. Pretty hard to read that, I guess. The client makes a request and it sends along information about the client itself, like version and which OS, and information about the user, for instance, which gender, or all those kind of things that then the content service can use for filtering. The Silverstripe controller validates requests, and then we have a PHP class that handles the processing, that filters out the pages based on the targeting option that we posted, and or the user data that we posted, and depending on the target option set on the different ads. Returns the response to the client as a list of JSON data with the ads object, and then the client parses this data and handles the rendering. And it also, since this is ads, we need to keep track on how they have been viewed and clicked on to measure the conversions. The client also, apart from rendering the ad in the app, it sends a HTTP request to the content service with the type of interaction it has done, along with the user ID and which content UID. And the Silverstripe interaction controller stores that in the database for use. And we can also have targeting based on if you have seen one ad, then you will be shown a different ad, or if you have seen this ad this amount of times, then you should no longer display it, and that kind of logic. And this was the first time that we really used Silverstripe in this headless kind of way, and one of the first Silverstripe 4 project that we did, so that was pretty fun to finally get to work with that. And that was it for me.